What if dogs never existed? I mean, just think of all the lonely walks you would get to take by yourself. Well, we can only imagine what life would be like without these furry little friends. But today we are going to try to find out. So sit back and relax because this is a story about what if animals never existed. Part 12. Dogs have been with humans for more than 10,000 years, which means that our whole history books will have to be rewritten if they ever disappeared. They were first domesticated in Europe from gray wolves, but it is still unknown exactly when it happened. But there is one thing that is certain: it was a long time ago. Today, there are hundreds of dog breeds that come in all shapes and sizes, from tiny Chihuahuas to massive Great Danes. But no matter how different they look, they all have one thing in common: loyalty. Man's best friend is always there for us, whether we are feeling happy or sad. So what would happen if one day all dogs suddenly vanished from the face of the earth? Well, for starters, there would be a lot of confused humans running around not knowing why their favorite dog park was completely empty. Then people would start to notice that there weren't any dogs on their street anymore, and then it would hit them all at once: no more dogs. The world would be a much quieter place without the constant barking of dogs. But it wouldn't be peaceful exactly, because now every human would have to walk outside with a bodyguard, a security guard to protect them from wild animals. And let's not forget about those pesky squirrels that could easily attack you if there wasn't a dog to scare them away. And believe it or not, some people rely on dogs for emotional support. Without their furry friend, they might become depressed. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Dogs can help people with anxiety or depression feel less alone in the world. So if all dogs suddenly disappeared, there would be a lot of sad humans running around. And not just humans, all the other animals would suffer too. Animals in zoos would be devastated without their canine companions. Some animals depend on dogs for survival, such as the domestic sheep, goats, and cattle, who need dogs to protect them from predators. Without dogs, these animals would be constantly on alert, always looking over their shoulder to see if a wolf was lurking nearby. They would never get to enjoy the simple pleasures in life, like taking a walk in the park without worrying about being chased down and eaten. Now, you may be thinking, what does any of this have to do with me? Well, more than you think. If all the dogs in the world suddenly disappeared, it would be a disaster for humans too. You see, dogs are working animals too. They are used to herd animals, to track down criminals, and even to sniff out explosives. In fact, dogs are so smart that they are often better at their jobs than humans. If they disappeared, we would have to find other ways to do all these things. We could train other animals to replace them, of course, but nothing is certain. We could also try to build robots that can do the same tasks as dogs, but that would be expensive and time-consuming. The bottom line is that we would have to figure out a lot of things very quickly if we were to lose our four-legged friends. And that's not even mentioning the economic impact. The pet industry alone is worth billions of dollars. And if all dogs suddenly disappeared, that would be a huge hit to the economy. People would lose their jobs and companies would go bankrupt. It would be a real mess. But let's say we found a way to replace dogs in the workforce and we managed to keep the economy afloat somehow. What about all the fun we have with our furry friends? Gone would be the days of playing fetch in the park or going for a swim with your dog. No more long walks in the forest or cuddling up with your favorite dog on the couch. Life would definitely be less fun without these loyal companions by our side. So what about cats? We all know that cats are independent creatures who don't need us humans around as much as dogs do. They can be left alone for longer periods of time without needing attention, and they don't need to be taken on walks. But despite their independent nature, cats are still very much beloved by humans. They make great companions and are often known for being affectionate towards their owners. In fact, there is a theory that cats only became domesticated because they chose to be domesticated. Unlike dogs, who were likely captured and domesticated by humans, cats are believed to have approached humans voluntarily because they were attracted to the grain that humans were storing. This grain was a new food source for cats, and it was so easy to get thanks to humans that it made their lives much easier. Over time, cats became domesticated and eventually became the beloved pets that we know today. Cats are also important for pest control. They are natural hunters and are very good at catching rodents, birds, and insects. This is especially important on farms where rodents can destroy crops and spread disease. Cats are also used to hunt down dangerous animals like snakes and spiders. So if cats disappeared, we would have to find another way to deal with all these pests. Also, did you know that cats are used in research to help scientists develop new medicines? That's right. Cats are very similar to humans in many ways, so they are often used to test the safety and effectiveness of new drugs. If cats disappeared, it would be harder for scientists to develop new medicines. And that's not even mentioning all the fun we have with our feline friends. Who would play with us now? No more cat and mouse games or chasing red dots. No more napping in sunbeams or grooming each other. Life would definitely be less fun without our furry little lions around. Okay, now let's talk about birds. There are over 10,000 species of birds alive today, and they can be found in every part of the world. Birds play an important role in the ecosystem. They help to pollinate plants and disperse seeds. They also eat insects and other small animals, helping to keep their populations under control. Plus, let's not forget about all the fun we have watching birds. Whether we're feeding them from our hands or simply enjoying their beautiful songs, birds bring joy to our lives in so many ways. But what would happen if they suddenly disappeared? For starters, the skies would be eerily silent. No more birdsong would fill the air. Then there are the airports. All flights would be cancelled until we figured out a new way to travel through the air. Of course, we could build planes that don't need pilots, but that would be difficult and time-consuming. On the plus side, we would probably get a lot of cloudy days because birds are actually responsible for creating clouds. Well, sort of. As they fly around, they leave behind little balls of moisture. These moisture balls then form into clouds. So without birds, we might not have any clouds at all. And that's just one of the many reasons why we need birds. They are also important for the economy. Bird watching is a popular activity and brings in millions of dollars each year. If birds disappeared, that would be a major blow to the economy. Not to mention all the jobs that would be lost, from bird watchers to ornithologists. It's safe to say that the world would definitely be worse off without birds. And let's not forget about the bees. These fuzzy little creatures are responsible for pollinating 1/3 of the food we eat. Without them, we would have to find another way to pollinate our crops, which would be difficult and time-consuming. Not to mention all the delicious honey we would no longer have access to. In fact, all the other insects would vanish too. And that would mean that we would have to find a new way to get our protein. Without insects, the world would definitely be a lot different. Maybe we would have to start eating more plants instead. That might not be so bad. After all, there are plenty of delicious fruits and vegetables to choose from, but it would definitely be an adjustment for some people. What about fish? Fish are important for a number of reasons. They are a great source of protein and omega-3 fatty acids. They are also low in calories and fat, making them a healthy option for those looking to lose weight or live a healthier lifestyle. Fish also play an important role in the ecosystem. They are a vital food source for many animals, including humans. They also help to keep the populations of other animals in check. But most importantly, fish are simply fascinating creatures. They come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Some are fast and agile, while others are slow and graceful. Some are brightly colored, while others are camouflaged to blend in with their surroundings. There is something about fish that is endlessly fascinating to humans. Maybe it is because they live in a totally different world than we do. Or maybe it is simply because they are so beautiful. Whatever the reason, one thing is for sure, we would be poorer without fish. In conclusion, the world would not be the same without animals. They are an integral part of our lives, providing us with food, companionship, and even economic opportunities. So next time you see an animal, take a moment to appreciate the amazing creature that it is, and remember that without animals, our world would be a lot different. Thank you for joining us today. And please don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Until next time, goodbye.